you. Senator Cassidy.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, thank y'all for being here. I think we share a concern. How do we improve retirement, not for Elon Musk, but for kind of the folks who are the low end? And so, Ms. Ghilarducci, you and, sir, can I ask an indulgence? He just showed up. Can we restart and let me defer to him? Yes. Oh, okay, never mind. So, but really the two of you, Ms. Gressler and Ms. Ghilarducci, are saying different things. And so you made the point that it's the lowest portion that's just having the hardest time, but you mentioned, Ms. Gressler, that your statistic, I wrote it down, 50% of those just getting by has decreased by 0.5%, and that income is 123% of pre-retirement income. So can you respond, and then I'm going to ask you to respond.
Yes, I'd love to, because we've heard some widely different statistics here. The difference is looking at survey-based data, which just asks individuals what their income is, versus administrative data, such as IRS tax records, what people have actually reported on their taxes. Economists will tell you that that IRS data is the most accurate for multiple reasons. First of all, you're less accurate to lie on your taxes, but also the way that the survey data is asked. Things like a defined contribution plan that you might not take a regular amount out every month will not show up. And so there's been studies done that showed the median female in retirement looks like she has 45% less income than she actually does based on that survey data when you compare it to the actual IRS tax records. And so you'll see in page 3 of my testimony here, there's a study that is using those IRS panel data, and 123% replacement. At the median, 93% replacement. So most people on their tax records appear to have significant income in retirement.
Ms. Ghilarducci, can you briefly respond to that?
Yeah, I don't want to go head-to-head. That study is old. The CPS has been corrected for that. I use a much more comprehensive study from the University of Michigan that looks at what happens when people live their lives after they filed all their taxes, went through their life course, and right on the verge of retirement, how much they have. That's been double-checked with IRS data, with administrative records, and I stand by my written testimony. The bottom half have barely anything. The middle, 200,000. The top have almost $1 million.
And Ms. Gressler, any last word real quickly?
I mean, the data are available on the internet. You can look them up. Federal Reserve.
Mr. Dunham, great talking to your group yesterday. Thank you for your hospitality. Now, you mentioned the defined benefit and how some employers are going back to it. You mentioned IBM, but I think of IBM as having relatively stable employment. But when I look here, it says that the average number of jobs someone holds in the 6-year period from 18 to 24 is 5.7, an average of 4.5 from 25 to 34, and 2.9 from 35 to 44. It does seem like our current job market, people move a lot. And the defined contribution allows you to take that with you as opposed to, wait, I have to vest for 5 years before I qualify, which is what we do in the federal government. If you're not here for 5 years, you don't vest. So that does seem to be a major advantage of a defined contribution as opposed to a defined benefit.
Thank you. And, you know, I think younger workers have always been more prone to move around and switch jobs and sort of find that job.
But this shows even, if you will, kind of in the 30s workers are moving around.
Yes.
2.9 times.
Yes. And I also think there's a bit of a chicken and an egg thing, right? Private employers moved away from incentivizing careers, and we see less people having longer careers. In contrast, the public sector has maintained that stable workforce, you know, incentivizing careers, and it's not uncommon to walk into a school and see a teacher who's put in 20 years in that school. So, you know, I think to the extent that there actually are changes, because I think there's always been turnover, you know, the incentives have changed dramatically. And
so in your mind, that if we had a defined benefit, people would be more likely to stay with their job?
You know that.
Yes.
Now, I will say that whenever I read of a large number of, like, Meta is laying off a bunch of people, it's often not the worker's choice, it's the employer's choice, just to point that out.
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson, I think Ms. Chambers is kind of pointing out to the anxiety of an investor who's dependent upon her retirement about the kind of the stock market moving up and down. It's one thing if you have a cushion, but it's another in your experience, and it's another if kind of, oh my gosh, I'm 10 years away. you mentioned the terms you use, step up and lock in. Now, I'm guessing that just from what I'm hearing from you, that would be a way to deal with the anxiety of that small investor. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, absolutely. You've got it exactly right. Again, it's really taking the best of what the pension world had to offer and bringing that into defined contribution plans. And so, yes, we've developed, and a number of my peers have developed solutions that address that issue 100%. And what I love about these is we still know that 60% of Americans don't have an advisor, right? That probably goes without saying. So by what we're describing is making these available inside of 457 plans or 401k plans, you get them at an institutional level, and you get the oversight that comes from a major corporation or a small corporation or an expert managing.
You got to wrap up because he's tapping the thing,
Right.
but I think you
So,
made your point. And
thank
Mr. Chair, can I ask unanimous consent to enter into the record statements from the following groups: the American Benefits Council, the ERISA Industry Committee, the American Council of Life Insurers, the Insured Retirement Institute, IRA, and the American Retirement Association.
Without objection. Senator Casey.